Hello and welcome back to the channel. Now, if you've been following me for a little while, you may have noticed that recently I've been rocking this, which is the Dutch Army Hyena Daysack, as opposed to my regular rucksack. And there's a reason for that, and that is I have been looking for this rucksack for well over a year, and a bag of this sort of specification for probably 2 or 3 years now, and I've finally got hold of one, and I'm absolutely thrilled. So what I want to do is give you a review of this bag, its main features, why I bought it, and what I think of it. So first of all, this is a Dutch military bag, so it is full NATO military specification, and that is evidenced throughout all areas of the bag. It's just a really tough bag. So start off with the material. This is 600D nylon, which is a tough, durable material. It's not going to get punctured very easily. Now, I've had bags that are super lightweight from the high street designed for hiking, and they just get holes within 6 months because they're not designed to kind of be put on the forest floor where there's kind of sharp twigs and things. This one you can kind of put on the floor and not worry about it too much because it is robust. It's been designed for war. Now, that's the material itself. If you look underneath the material on the back, then it's actually PU lined as well. And that's important because that means it's inherently water resistant. I won't say waterproof because obviously with the stitching on this bag, then the water can still get through and seep through those bits, but it does give you a good degree of water resistance. Now, as well as kind of tough material, all the kind of webbing and the stitching, it's all really well stitched. It's all really thick and chunky, which I like. Start off with the kind of grab handle here at the top here. This is really wide. It's well stitched into the side here. That's not going anywhere, that's useful. But if I turn that around, we can look at the actual shoulder straps. Now the shoulder straps, if I put my fingers up, so you can get an idea, that's how wide they are. They're a good, wide shoulder strap, quite thick, quite well padded, and also very stiff. Now, you might argue, why would you want a stiff rucksack? A stiff shoulder strap. And the reason is if you've got one that's really spongy, what happens is when it's on your shoulders, it bunches up, and then it doesn't distribute the weight throughout the full width of the strap. And that's what this one does. That's why they're designed to be stiff. When you've got a heavy load in here, these are still very, very comfortable. You'll notice these are contoured as well, so they're designed to kind of work with your body. And then you have 2 D-rings, so you can lash things to them if you want to. Maybe use it as a lanyard for your compass, or hang a bottle of water or something. They're useful to have those. As well as those big shoulder straps, you've also got a decent set of hip belt here. So you've got your hip belt. Again, you've got this padding. It's reasonably wide. It's not as wide as some of the hip belts I've had in other bags, but this is a smaller bag. It's only a day sack. It's not been designed for kind of expedition, so you don't need to have a really wide one. But that is perfectly adequate, and it does distribute the load for this size bag really well. The buckles on here, they're unbranded. I couldn't find any sort of markings on them. I thought I just found one then. No, I've not found any markings on them, but they are really chunky and they give a really resounding click. They're not going anywhere. So the full NATO specification, they're robust and durable. They're not going to go anywhere. And it's the same for the one on the sternum strap, on your shoulder straps as well. Again, this is a wider strap than you'll get on a commercial bag. And what I like about this one, and I've not seen this on a military rucksack before, is it's actually got elastic in there as well as a shock absorber on the sternum strap. Maybe it's just because the bags I have are quite old now. I've not seen that feature before, but I really like that, and it does make it a little bit more comfortable. And again, it's a really thick, durable buckle. Doesn't feel like that's going to break. I really like that. Take that aside, take your straps aside, and you've got the padding at the back. Now the padding on this isn't as thick as some of the other bags I've had, but again, this is because it's only a day sack. It's not designed for kind of expeditions, but it's thick enough that it's not been a problem. And even while I've had all my camera gear and quite a heavy load in here, that's not been too uncomfortable at all. It's been very comfortable, to be fair. It is kind of contoured, so you have these kind of airflows sewn into it to try and encourage airflow. And again, it's got this kind of cool mesh backing on the back of the back there to kind of stop you getting too sweaty. And it's the same for the shoulder straps and for the hip belt as well. It's that nice little cool mesh material, which does help with that kind of airflow and not getting too sweaty. So I like that a lot. We turn the bag on its side. Because it's military specification, you do have MOLLE all the way up to the top. So if you wanted to add additional pouches here, you could do, or lash the things to that. That's there. It's really well sewn in. That's not going anywhere at all. So no problems taking extra load on that as well. You also have compression straps. Now the compression straps are really useful because if you're not using the bag at full capacity, so you haven't got everything, it's not completely full, you can cinch this down and pull it tight. And what that does is it keeps everything close to your body as opposed to hanging off the back, which makes it more comfortable to wear because it's closer to your centre of gravity. So really well thought out idea. I like that a lot. While we've got the shoulder straps open, just notice that only affects the main compartment. The main compartment on this is 25 litres. It doesn't control the other two pouches. I'm not sure if that's a good thing or not, but just be aware that it only affects the main compartment, not compartment 2 or compartment 3, which we'll go into later on. So the other side is the same. You have, again, lots of MOLLE there to have additional pouches on there if you want to. And again, you've got a set of compression straps. You've got 2 on each side, so really well thought out. Now, the other terms of thing you've got, because it's military specification, is if you wanted to lash something to the top of this, you've also have another set of straps at the top here. These are loops. I've got mine tied off because I know I'm not going to use them. But if you wanted to have a roll mat across the top of this, for example, then you could easily put a roll mat on there and then just strap it down using these straps. So another nice little feature because it's military. And again, at the back, you also have the ability to lash stuff to the bottom as well. Again, I've got mine all tied up or taped up so they don't flap about. But if you wanted to get a tent under there or roll mat, that should fit in there easily. And you'll be able to sort of strap additional stuff to the outside if you want to. You've also got loops here, which I guess are for, well, they're not going to be for walking poles because let's face it, it's the military. So I'm guessing these are things like skis and that kind of stuff. So you could, attach other bits of equipment there. And up the top here, I'm guessing there'll be another little strap. Yeah, there's another loop here to secure whatever you've tied down that side. So useful. I guess that's going to be for skis and things like that. So useful little thing to have. Now, what else have we got in here? On the top, we also have a port for a bladder pouch. So if you want to use the bladder, water bladder on the inside, you can route your hose through the top of this, down your strap. That's useful. I've stopped using water bladders myself just because I tend to carry a lot of camera gear when I'm outside these days, and a water bladder isn't the most secure way of carrying water. I have had a leak and it was very expensive with a lens. It was a £1,000 lens and I got destroyed. So I tend to stick with kind of more robust water bottles now for obvious reasons. I won't do that. Won't make that mistake again twice. So that's the water bladder. If you look on the inside of the pouch, you've got 3 main compartments on the inside. Now you access these all through zips, and not everybody likes zips because they feel it's going to be a weak point. I've not had an issue when zips fail before, especially as they're kind of reinforced with the compression straps, so there's not too much pressure on the zip, if that makes sense. But the beauty about having a zip is it allows you to get to the bottom of your bag really easily. So if you've got stuff at the bottom and you don't want to pull everything out, the zipper makes it really easy to do that. Now, the zips themselves, they're unbranded. I couldn't find anything to say they were YKK or anything, but they are really tough, they're really chunky, and obviously the full military specification. So I'm pretty sure they're going to last. I don't think we're going to have any problems with those zips whatsoever. With the zip itself, you do get these little zip pulls, so it makes it easier if you're using gloves as well to operate the zip. So again, really well thought out, really nice feature. In here, you have your pouch for your water bladder, so you can put your water bladder in there, and then there's a little loop here for hanging your water bladder at the top. Clip it in, hang down, route it through the top there. So yeah, it works really well. Now that main compartment is 25 litres, and that's big enough for my biggest items. So I can fit my tripod, I can fit my camera in there, my kind of stove, my kind of poncho, all the kind of main bits I need will go in there, no problem. Then you have your second pouch, And again, it's got a nice storm flap over the top to kind of protect the zip from rain, as does the main compartment. You've got the same good chunky zip with a zip pull. And this pouch is 11 litres. So again, it's a chunky old pouch there. And I tend to put things like my torches, my first aid kit, some sun cream, that kind of stuff. The smaller items that I don't want floating around the bottom of my bag, they'll fit in there really nicely. So really useful again. Zip that up before I lose anything. And then finally, you've got the third pouch. And the third pouch is 3 litres. And again, it's under a nice storm flap to protect the zip. Feels like it's not going to get too wet in there. And this is where I put all of my kind of little camera bits. So I've got things like my microphone pouch, I've got my lens filters, that kind of stuff, spare batteries, all the kind of little things I don't want to get lost from the camera stuff. I'll put them in there to kind of safekeeping. So it's really useful. On the front of the bag, you also have, again, additional MOLLE. So if you wanted to put things like a first aid kit or additional water bottle pouch, you could strap that onto the side. Again, really, really detailed stitching. No issues with that at all. That's gonna last. And then you have a couple of Velcro pouches. You've got a long one, which I guess is designed for name tape. I've just got my little glow in the dark eyes here. And also you have another one for a morale patch. So this could typically be a flag. It could be your name and sort of zap number, that kind of stuff. I just got my Adventure Before Dementia patch. I just think it's amusing and it makes me smile. So that's the bag. I think it's a really great bit of kit. And I think what makes this unique is not only is it military specifications, it's a tough bag, but it's one tone. And I really like that. It's hard to find a military specification bag that is one tone other than green. You know, you can get some green ones, and even the green ones aren't that easy to find, you know, compared to kind of camouflage. Now the material on this one, so the colour on this one I should say, is Coyote Brown. And I think this is a fantastic colour, because as you can see with this forest floor, it just blends in really well. So it does a really good job. It's discreet, but without being too wary. And that's one of the things I really like about it. And apart from that, it's got the subdivision. That's the other reason I really like it. Having these pouches for me is really useful. Now the other bags I've used things like the 45 litre infantry Bergen from Pre. I've used the 100 litre longback Bergen. I've used, what else have I used recently? Oh, the 45 litre Sabre as well with rocket pouches. You know, and they're all good bags in their own way. This bag for me, what this is perfect for is that kind of day use. So if you're just going out for the day, you don't want just like a giant big bucket because you can't find anything, okay? And you don't want anything that's too large, because then you're going out for a day with like a, I don't know, like your Sabre 45 and 2 rocket pouches attached. That's like a 65, 70 litre bag. It's just too heavy, it's too much. This one is just the right size for the day. You can get everything you want in comfortably. You know, even your camera gear, your tripod, with room to spare. You can cinch it all down. And it's not too big and too bulky. The bag itself, it's just over a kilo in terms of weight. I think it was 1.06 kilos in weight. So it's not too heavy either. It's a really good solid day bag option when you're just going out for the day. If I was going out overnight, I'd want something a little bit heavier. So I hope that was useful, and hopefully I'll see you next time.